Welcome friends, welcome to JCE Connect. Now, last class we have seen the evaluation, so today we are going to see the depreciation. This is module 5th and I am Professor Balasaheb Jamadar. I'm going to tell you how to work it out with this depreciation, what it is depreciation and how we are going to use this depreciation in the valuation process. Now, first of all, you should know the depreciation. The term depreciation is derived from a Latin word that depreciation, meaning the fall in value or the becoming less in worth. This word depreciation is well known to all accountants, businessmen, engineers, economists, lawyers, men of many other walk of life. In general sense, it means getting consumed, decayed, damaged, obliterated, or worn out. Now, broadly speaking, it is represents a loss caused by factors like decay, wear, tear, action of elements of nature, then insufficiency of inadequacy, obsolescence, changes in art and the fashion, changes in the demand, etc. Right? So that we call as a depreciation. As I said here, now it is written that depreciation is a gradual exhaustion, exhaustion of usefulness of a property. This may be defined as the decrease or loss in the value of a property due to the structural deterioration, life, wear and tear, decay and obsolescence. Whereas in earlier days of bookkeeping, the depreciation as a cost was not involved because of the absence of a long-lived property or the asset in the commercial usage. But as a commercial or the commerce and the individual ownership developed, the concept of estimating the charges of consumption of long-lived assets was revoked. A few of the terms we have to understand before going to the depreciation. There are some terminologies that you need to remember in understanding the different types of depreciation methods. First is adjusted cost basis. Is the asset original cost basis used to compute the depreciation deduction adjusted by the allowable increase or the decrease. First cost, that is you can call it as FC or C, or the cost basis, e.g. cost basis is the adjusted cost basis of an asset. It is initial cost of acquiring an asset. Book value is the original cost basis of the property, including the adjustment less all adjustments less all allowable depreciation and deduction. Market value is the amount paid to a willing seller by a willing buyer of an asset. Salvage value, yes, is the estimated value of a property at the end of property's life. Recovered period is the number of years of an asset recovery. Usual life, N, is the appreciated period of a property's life. Before going to the different methods of depreciation, I'd like to have a light on the light knowledge to spread on the depreciation. Since 1900, there has been considerable literature on the depreciation and its concept written by the eminent accountants, lawyers, tax officials, engineers, etc. But in spite of popular idea of treating the depreciation as a loss or a fall in value, its application in a practice is almost always based on the cost and not on the values. Now we are going for the methods of calculating the depreciation. We are having 6 different methods to calculate the depreciation. First one is straight line method, then the constant percentage method, then you'll be having a sinking fund method, quantity survey method, sum of digits method, unit cost method. So these are the 6 different methods are there to determine the loss, or you can call it as to determine the depreciation loss in value. Now this is very important thing, that each of above method of cost depreciation will now be we are going to discuss them briefly. The first method is straight line method. Now this straight line method, it is assumed that the property losses its value by the same amount every year. A fixed amount of original cost is deducted every year. so that at the end of the utility period only the scrap value is left. The annual depreciation, that is D is equal to original cost of asset FC minus scrap value SV divided by life in the year, that is small n, and that you can represent D is equal to FC minus SV divided by small n. Now this is probably the first method which was developed to work out the depreciation method of property. In this method, as I said, that it is assumed that the property losses its value by the same amount every year. Now the straight line method is the most acceptable method in the cost of depreciation calculation than any other method, because it allocates the it allocates uniformly the depreciation throughout the service life of a property, except when the estimate of a service life is going to be changed. Now this method is generally used for determining the cost of depreciation for tax purpose as well as for preparing the profit and loss financial statement. Now this is what the straight line method. As I said, that this straight line method is very common and simplest method of the calculating the depreciation expense. In straight line depreciation, the expense amount is the same every year over the useful life of the asset, and the depreciation formula for the straight line is given as depreciation expense is equal to cost, that is first cost FC minus SV, first cost minus salvage value divided by useful life. Now, for example, you can take a vehicle that depreciate over a 5 year, is purchased at a cost of 17,000 and will have a salvage value of 2,000, right? And will depreciate at rupees 3,000 per year. So, for 5 years depreciation, how to calculate that? That is going to be, see that how it is going to be depreciated by 3,000. How they have got that 3,000 there? Now, what you have to do is that the purchase cost you are supposed to take, that is FC minus salvage value SV, that is 2000, 17,000 minus 2000 divided by small n, that is years, right? So you will be getting 3,000 annual straight line depreciation expense. In other words, it is a depreciable cost of the asset divided by the number of years of its useful life. Now, the second one is, that is constant percentage method. In this method, it is assumed that the property will lose its value by the constant percentage or by the constant range of its value, and at the beginning of every year that we are going to consider. Now if you have a bit of light on the on this method, now this is also known as the decline balance method or written down value method, or sometimes we call it as what, equal percentage method. In this method, the depreciation percentage remains constant throughout the life of building, but the capital sum or the base goes on the on the reducing every year by amount of equal to the depreciation of per year, right? So here you can calculate by this method by using the formula. Also I have given the formula, but before formula you just let have these things here what I have given here, that let n is equal to life of property in a year, FC is equal to original cost or the first cost, SV is equal to salvage or scrap value, let P is a constant percentage. Then here you will be having the formula for the value of property at the end of first year, that is FC minus. Now this P, as I shown you here, that we are going to we are going to take it as a constant percentage. As I said that now how we are going to arrive here, that we take that there is a constant there is a constant there is a constant percentage of value at the beginning of year, right? So it will lose, as we discussed, that the property is going to lose its value by the constant percentage. So this constant percentage is P, and that P we are going to use here. So that is FC minus P into FC, that is FC minus 1 minus FC into 1 minus P, because we are going to take this FC outside here. So it is FC into 1 minus P. The value of property at the end of first year, FC into 1 minus P whole square. The value of property at the end of nth year is SV is equal to FC into 1 minus P whole square. SV is equal to FC into 1 minus P raised to n. Now this is for n year. This is 2 is for the second year. You can similarly you can take it for the number of years also. Then you can easily find out the constant or the rate by which the value is depreciating or the loss of its value that is P is equal to, now here it is, P is equal to 1 minus SV divided by FC, that raised to 1 by N. And this method we also call it as what decline balance method, and is sometimes called as what constant percentage method, or Matheson's method, Matheson's formula. The assumption in this depreciation method is that the annual cost of depreciation is fixed percentage by 1 minus P of the book value BV at the beginning of the year. Now, sinking fund. For the sinking fund, see this method, the depreciation of property is assumed to be equal to the annual sinking fund at no annual sinking fund by the owner, or by the investing the same every year at the compound interest also can be considered. So that after a specified period, the owner may gets the predetermined prime cost of the building, the how it is going to be depreciate the building less its salvage value, right? That you can easily determine. Now this method is based on the well established principles of the compound interest, but it does not take any consideration the consumption of useful of the property. Now, as I have written here, it is this, in this method the depreciation of property is assumed to be equal to the annual sinking fund plus the interest on the fund for the year, which is supposed to be invested on interest bearing investment. Now this is very important. We can easily summarize this into the formula. The sinking fund method is depreciation method wherein funds will accumulate for the replacement purposes. The formulas of a sinking fund method of depreciation are: annual depreciation is equal to A is equal to C FC minus SV, that you can call it as what? You can you can take it as a total total sink. Yes, you can take it as total sink. FC minus SV is total sink, right? So FC minus SV into I, that whole divided by 1 plus I raised to n minus 1. The total depreciation after x year, you can take it as A into 1 plus I raised to x minus 1 in that divided by I, and where I is the interest rate, right? And book value FC is book value is equal to FC minus total depreciation. Now the fourth method is about the in this method the property is studied in details, and the loss in values due to the life, wear, tear, decay, and obsolescence, etc., worked out. Each and every step is based on the some logical grounds without any fixed percentage of cost of property. Only experimental valuer can work out amount of depreciation and the present value of property by this method. And this method mostly widely we use this method in the day-to-day practice. The property is studied in detail and loss in value owning the physical deterioration is worked out, and also the amount of spent to the modernization and to the to the renovation, all those are also be considered. So as to offset obsolescence is also worked out by using this method. Each and every step is based on some logical ground without any relation to some fixed percentage to the cost of property. Thus the basis of this method is observation and not assumption. This is very important thing, right? So this is in day-to-day's life we are going to use this, but you require a skilled person, a person who is having the well-versed knowledge of depreciation and how to locate or how to get the how to work it out the wear and tear. Now that person can work it out with this quantity survey method. Fifth one is sum of grid methods. A sum of years digit method is an accelerated depreciation technique based on the assumption that tangible properties are useful are usually productive when they are new, and their use decreases as they become old. The formulas for the sum of the years digit method of the depreciation are: for first year, sum of the years n is equal to sum of the year. How you are going to get the sum of year? That is n by 2 plus n by 2 into n plus 2. Now that is what you are going to get. So you can easily write like this, no? N by 2, n into n plus 1 divided by 2. That also you can write, right? Annual depreciation at first year, that is FC minus SV. into n divided by sum of the years. Annual depreciation for at second year, FC minus SV into n minus 1 divided by sum of the years. Book value, how you are going to get book value here? FC minus total depreciation at the end of nth year. Now here in this, see in this method, the sum of arithmetic series of numbers from 1 to n, where n is probable life of property, is worked out. The depreciation coefficient of a specific year is then found by the fraction, no, by the fractions, having numerator equals to the differences between the digit of the total life, digits of the balance, and the denominator equal to the sum of digits. Now that what the concept we are going to consider in the sum of digit methods. Then last one is the unit cost method. That is sixth one is unit cost method. Now here in this method, constant unit, right, this you can call it as a constant unit method also, is the same with the working hour method in the structure of the formula. The formula for the constant unit method of depreciation is depreciation per unit is equal to FC minus SV divided by total number of units. Now here in this method, the calculation depreciation or the calculation of depreciation is applicable to the machines and other equipments where it is possible to work it out. And the cost per unit output, right, means you are going to calculate, this is the method of calculating the depreciation which is applicable for the machines and other equipments, and it is possible to work out the cost per unit output. This is a very important thing that what we have to remember. In this method, it is assumed that the machines after n year of use will give the same unit cost of output during its remaining year of life. Means it is the thing that a machine after nth year will give the same kind of a performance that what it says. And see all these methods that cost depreciation and value depreciation, see at this stage it will be proper to discuss the difference between the two forms of depreciation, namely cost depreciation and value depreciation. You should know what is cost depreciation and value depreciation, because it is not there in this presentation. See here, I just am going for the last slide, that is thank you. But before going to close it, I just want to have a light between the depreciation of two things, that is the cost depreciation and value depreciation. Whereas the cost depreciation is used to indicate the process of allocating a prepaid expense to account periods during which there are benefits realized from the depreciable property. Now this method employs to determine the cost depreciation are discussed, as we have discussed, right? And the term value depreciation is used to indicate the decrease in value measured by the difference in values established for different services conditions. And hence the value depreciation is available as an end byproduct after the required present worth of the property has been found out. It is you can see that the value depreciation need not determine in the process of finding out the value of property. And if you compare this with the with the all methods what we are having for the cost depreciation are arbitrary, and they are they have to be arbitrary because it is not possible to carry out the test either theoretically or practically, and to work it out it is not possible, right, to work it out the rate of consumption of the economical productivity, uselessness, right, and all those things are very difficult in the cost depreciation, right. So these are the few basic differences what I have told between the cost depreciation and value depreciation. In one of the question paper I got that one question about the cost depreciation and value depreciation, and one more about the reproduction cost and replacement cost. So and also you can get the question on depreciation and depletion, that also will be there. So please note down these things and you can work it out on that. And this is what from my side. I am Professor Balasaheb Jamadar. Thank you very much.